grow it to what we've grown it to today, it took a lot of resources, a lot of good people to do that. It's really rewarding to look out there and see what we've done. Going from hand stack harvesting to automation is really, really fun to do that kind of stuff. It's really challenging. I like that. It's different every day.
Like many farms in Hastings, Florida, Tater Farms began as a potato growing operation. Established in the mid-70s by Frank and Polly Johns, the family-owned business would evolve into an innovative, cutting-edge sod and citrus operation covering nearly 2,700 acres of improved grasses.
The farm started as potatoes. We added cabbage and kind of did one or the other for 30 years or so, and the potato market was depressed and we had some labor issues with cabbage, so we just kind of looking for something else, and through a couple programs and boards that my dad was on, was approached about growing some sod.
In 2005, Tater Farms began growing sod as a contract grower for Turfgrass America. Frank was so impressed with the company's representative, Eric Yort, that he offered him a job managing their sod operations.
He took the leap of faith and he joined us in September 2006, and it's been a huge blessing. I will say God was looking out for me before I knew I needed it.
Under Yort's guidance, Tater Farms began growing sod on their own, and in 2006, they harvested their first crop of turfgrass. The family quickly discovered one important difference between the potatoes and sod growing seasons. Sod didn't have one.
But the sod trucks kept coming. And it was like, oh no, this is the potato season that never ends, because we were used to kind of an end where you could catch your breath.
Today, Tater Farms grows a wide variety of grasses, managing over 5,000 acres. From St. Augustine to Zoysia, Tater Farms is constantly working to grow the highest quality crop possible.
Always trying to get better at it, always trying to make sure you keep insects out, weeds out. It's got, the color needs to be right, and, I would say that's one of the biggest challenges is, nobody wants a pallet of sod to show up at their house and go, man, that doesn't look good, so you want them to be able to kind of sit back and let it grow.
Since the 1890s, farms in the St. Johns River Basin relied upon seep irrigation to water their crops. By raising the water table and holding it in furrows, growers could establish and maintain soil moisture across their fields. This approach, however, could see nutrients leaching into the aquifer or runoff escaping into the river. The furrows also took up valuable farmland. To accommodate the new sod fields, Tater Farms converted over 1,000 acres to a highly efficient drain tile system. Coupled with center pivot and lateral irrigation, the operation drastically reduced water consumption and reclaimed 15% more land for crop production.
We did a lot of trials with the University of Florida for the first 3 years, comparing seep irrigation to drain tile irrigation to overhead irrigation. And what we found was the drain tile is 40 to 50% more efficient than seep irrigation, and the overhead was actually 60 to 70% more efficient.
The drain tile system keeps water underground and directs it to the root zone of the crop, removing evaporation from the equation. Soil moisture monitors let the farm know if water needs to be added to or released from the fields. In addition to water savings, the system also heavily reduces the nitrogen and phosphorus runoff. This lowers input costs and minimizes any potential environmental impact to the local watershed.
We've shown that we're reducing phosphorus levels with the drain tile irrigation up to 80%, and that's a staggering number. Nitrogen levels up to 40, maybe even 50%. Again, good numbers, that's progress.
Innovation at Tater Farms isn't limited to irrigation. The Firefly Harvester, a fully automated harvesting system, requires only one operator to cut and stack pallets of sod. Full pallets are deposited in the field where a forklift places them on a nearby flatbed. Without skipping a beat, the harvester fills another pallet and continues the process. The operation also utilizes GPS Trimble systems for land leveling, making the property more efficient for water and sod use. These GPS systems are also used for mowing. And installed on fertilizer trucks, the guidance system allows for a more precise distribution of nutrients tailored to the needs of the turfgrass. This progressive approach enables the farm to better utilize its resources, saving time and money.
Some of the biggest challenges in ag, at least for us, it almost always seems to be labor and water and the nutrients and the tools that we need to do our job every day. How do we fix it? Just keep working together. The practices we're doing now, the BMPs we're doing now, the cost share programs we're doing now are the most effective tool we have for less water consumption and less inputs going into the external system.
By 2011, Tater Farms had completely transitioned away from potatoes and began looking for an additional source of revenue. A conversation with Quentin Rowe of W.G. Rowe & Sons led to a partnership that introduced Tater Farms to citrus. They converted 80 acres of sod fields into groves and began growing a full-size, seedless tangerine called Juicy Crunch. And like sod or potatoes, growing citrus comes with its own set of challenges.
You know, it's nerve-wracking, a potato crop. 90 days later, you plant it, 90 days later, you're done. You know, this tree you live with every day for years and years and years. So one mistake now seems to be able to haunt you a couple years down the road.
The introduction of this new crop also meant the need to revisit the irrigation system. Keeping the drain tiles in place, Tater Farms added a dual system of drip and microjet irrigation. Drip irrigation is the primary method of watering the groves. They can also be used to deliver liquid fertigation directly to the trees, supplementing quarterly applications of slow-release fertilizer. In the event of severe drought or a freeze, microjets are used for protection. Using drain tiles and drip irrigation across 1,500 acres, the farm has seen a decrease of over 34 million gallons of water used per year. Pleased with the results, the farm recently expanded the groves by an additional 80 acres.
I think Frank would be really proud of what we've done with the farm. He laid the foundation, and farming was his true love.
In 2014, after 30 years as the patriarch of Tater Farms, Frank Johns passed away. And while his absence was felt, his legacy of adapting, innovating, and leading was left in good hands.
Eric's a leader. He's very good at putting people in positions where they're strong, you know, giving them support, making sure they, you know, get what they need, but at the same time, letting them manage their area and not jump in the middle of it unless he needs to.
Eric has a lot of qualities that I see, you know, I remember Frank having as being aggressive and going after opportunities when he sees them. And I was always the one, as Frank said, clinging to the trunk of the tree. And he had a saying that, you know, you have to go out on a limb to get the fruit. And I said, yeah, but I'm holding on to that tree trunk. And anyway, so it's worked out for us, and I feel very blessed.
We love the land. We want to protect the land. It's how we earn our living. I fish on the river as much as I can, or the intercoastal as much as I can. So my concern for the river, the ocean, is just as great as the land that we farm on.